Alright, what's up, Clemson Nation? Guys, I think I was supposed to be making an ACC SEC preview video right now, but there's bigger news. Y'all already all heard, I know you've already all heard about Texas A&M. It looks like they really want to join the SEC. It looks like they're going to be in. The SEC is meeting tomorrow to see if they're going to be in. That would move the SEC to 13 teams. They're not going to stay at 13 teams. They're going to get one more or three more. Probably one more, I'm guessing. And right now the three choices other than Texas A&M are in this order: Florida State, Clemson, and Missouri. That's the order I'm guessing. I know they really want Florida State, and Florida State seems to be the number one choice. Florida State already rejected the conference in 1992. Florida State and Texas rejected the SEC's offers, and they had to fall back on South Carolina and Arkansas, which sucks for them. Anyway, what do y'all think is going to happen out of this? I mean, it's pretty obvious Texas A&M is going to go. Will Florida State or Clemson leave the ACC? Personally, I'll get to that in a minute, but will they leave the ACC, or will the SEC grab up more Big 12 members? Missouri said they denied. Virginia Tech denied. So Missouri and Virginia Tech are out. They said they would not go if invited. I don't know why Missouri wouldn't want to go. They turned down the Big 10 last year too. I don't know what they think they're going to do in the Big 12. It's not smart on their part. And you always got the possibility of Oklahoma, but I don't think Oklahoma's going to leave Texas unless I think the Big 12 might just disintegrate and leave Texas as an independent with their network. And that's what it's looking like, because nobody's going to want to be in there with a small conference with Texas getting all the money. That's why this all started in the first place, because Texas is greedy. But what do you guys think about who's going to get taken? What will happen? What will come out of this? Will the SEC go to 14, or will they go to 16? What will happen to the ACC or the Big 12? Who will the ACC get? Now, if the SEC takes, say, just Florida State, so Florida State and Texas then go to the SEC, who will the ACC get? And of course, the SEC might wait a year or two and then go to 16 and take some more from the ACC. But as of right now, the ACC would have to go after somebody, and you have to look at ECU. You have to look at some of the schools from the Big East. And here's another thing. If the ACC starts losing, say they lost Clemson and Florida State, would they take from the Big East, or would the Big East take from the ACC? The Big East is a bigger conference, basketball-wise. They have more overall members. But you have to think that because of football only, that the Big East might just become a basketball-only conference, and all their members move to the ACC and other conferences or something like that. I don't know what's going to happen. But personally, from a Clemson standpoint, if it was up to me, I wouldn't want anything to change from the way it is right now. I'd want the SEC to stay at 12, and I'd want the ACC to stay at 12, and I want all the members in it right now to stay the way it is. I don't support mega conferences. I don't want any of that crap. It's going to make it that much harder to win your conference. It's going to make it that much harder to get to the national championship. You're never going to play the teams on the other side of the division. You're never going to play them because there's so many teams. I mean, you'll have to wait, 4 years to play those teams? But if Clemson gets the chance, if we can't stay in the ACC, if Florida State's leaving, we've been the ACC's redheaded stepchild forever. It's a basketball conference controlled solely by the North Carolina schools. We all know that. Clemson and Maryland started the conference. I don't know when we let the freaking North Carolina schools take over, but that's bull crap. So, just because of money-wise, you have to go to the SEC if you get invited. Clemson has to go, and if we deny the SEC, then, I don't think Florida State will deny it. I think they'll go if they're taking it. They'll go over us. If we're 14, I really don't see Clemson having a shot at all. But if they go to 16, ACC goes to 16, SEC goes to 16, I think Clemson's out. Another thing I've seen is South Carolina, Florida fans talking about how they would all group together and make sure Clemson or Florida State doesn't get in. That's hilarious. You can't do that. It doesn't work like that. I don't know about Florida, but in South Carolina, the politicians will not let you do that because Clemson is a public school just like South Carolina, and they want schools to get as much money as possible. Joining the SEC would give Clemson more money, and they're not going to let South Carolina deny them because they don't want us to recruit better than them. They're not going to let that happen. So if that's what you're hoping on, if you're a fan like a Florida or a Gamecock fan, you're hoping that you'll block us. That's not going to happen. The government's just not going to allow it. We're going to let South Carolina back into the ACC in the 90s, early 90s, when they wanted to get back in, or in the late 80s when they were trying to get back in. You're just not going to get away with trying to block the schools that are trying to get in. But like I said, it's gonna be college football would change so much having 16 or 14 team conferences. I guess 14 wouldn't be too much different. It would just add one more. 16 is just ridiculous, having to be number one out of 8 teams. It's almost having to win your conference without. That's almost like winning the ACC before we expanded. You have to think, if the SEC takes Florida State and Clemson, the ACC will fall back into just a complete basketball conference. It's going to absolutely suck to be in there for the Virginia Tech will keep winning, but they'll never win a national championship playing all these schools. Miami, heck, they might win a few more because they're going to not have to worry about it. Georgia Tech will not go to the SEC. They're not even going to look at it. Some people are saying that. The only 4 teams it looks like the SEC is looking right now are Missouri, who denied, Clemson, Florida State, and Texas A&M. So if they expand, it's going to be those teams. Just want to hear y'all's thoughts. What y'all think about mega conferences and everything else about it. Who you think is going to end up in what conference and all of that. We'll see Monday after the SEC meets. We'll see if Texas A&M's officially in it, and we'll see who else they're talking to.